Let me get back to my share screen first, okay? And I remember that Harish has a question about the word segregated. So let me get on to my I'm supposed to be able to do this on a slide screen.
Ma'am.
Yes, my dear. Thanks for being patient.
Does segregated means you're isolated? Okay.
Quite closely, but segregated actually means separated and yes, really put apart.
Oh.
Okay, put apart. And segregation comes very close in a scenario that you might have been familiar with recently. You know, in the years of and actually we're still in the midst of the pandemic, right? We had to be segregated if we are tested positive from others, and then we isolate ourselves and we are separated from the rest in terms of interaction. So separated, isolated would fit the meaning of segregated. Okay, so we can never be segregated together. It is an oxymoron in that sense. Okay. So Sathmi has just entered again. Sathmi, I would love to see your face momentarily even and say a quick hello to you, Sathmi. You there? Would you like to unmute yourself and do a quick self-intro? Pardon my persistence, because I've always been a classroom teacher, and you know, sometimes when a person walks in, I would like to know who you are. And this being our first meeting, it makes sense that we introduce ourselves to each other. Sathmi. Okay. I'll give her or him some more time. I would need to carry on with the next slide. All right. I may just keep it to this slide because here I have a little bit of clues that might help you with understanding the lesson a little bit better. Okay, question 4. Let me continue reading. The defending champion suffered a blank of concentration in the final set of tennis match and was finally beaten by her challenger. Is it a drop, a gap, a break, or a lapse of concentration? Ezekiel?
Hold on. I think lapse.
And your thinking is correct. Okay, lapse literally means a period, a time period of failure to be able to do something. For example, oh, I'm sorry, there must have been a lapse in my judgment, a failure in my judgment. Please take note of that. So lapse literally means a brief failure, short period of failure. So if it's a lapse of concentration, it's a short failure of being able to stay focused. Okay, good one there, guys. Keep it up. May I invite Sathmi to try question? Let me see if there's a 6th question. I think that's all for. Can I get into my PowerPoint slide because this is not sensitive at all? Okay. Yes. So we move on to question 5, and Sathmi is admitting. So I think Sathmi is having problems with opening her screen. So sorry, I liberally assume it's just one of the girls. It could be a boy. Pardon me. Let's continue with question 5. I cherish, I repealed, I lamented. Hi.
Hi, teacher. My iPad is not working. That I'm using my phone now.
You don't know how happy this makes me feel that I could finally see your face, Sathmi. Thank you. I'm so sorry if I had been impatient with you, okay? Yeah, but thank you for trying again and again, okay? So hello. Good to see you. Okay, better late than never. I'm so glad that you joined us this evening. It's 3 of you. We have Ezekiel from ACS Barker. We have Harish from SAS. Sathmi, could you quickly tell us which school you're from?
Sorry?
Which school are you from? Where are you studying at?
I'm from Yuanjing Secondary School.
Yangcheng
Yuanjing.
Yuanqing Secondary School. Is there one in Jurong?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. It is also a school with long heritage. I think it's not a new school, right? Very long
Yeah.
heritage. Yes. So let me warmly welcome you again, and let's continue with the question. So if you can, may I invite you to try question 5, even though just now it was just the 2 boys and I was sharing the questions with the 2 boys, but I like to have everyone involved. Okay. So question 5, let me repeat again. I cherished the way, I repealed the way, I lamented the way, or I resented the way Magella had rudely responded to my query and demanded an apology. So rude response to my query, of course, must have made me mad. So is it cherished, repealed, lamented, or resented? Yes, Haresh, because I think Sasmi was out again.
Oh yeah, it's resentment. It's like the bitter feeling of someone treating you unfairly.
Yes, well answered. Perfect answer. You've just taught even the lesson on it. Okay, that means I felt bitter about. And in this case, your past tense, resented means you felt bitter. All right, you detest the way something is done. And in this case, it is the rude response that Magella has given. Good job. Okay. Let me see why I couldn't move the slide. Now the slide has frozen. Wonder why. Let's see. Is there something on the chat? Teacher, my camera is not working. Okay, I captured that. So I will just leave you be with the camera not working, no problem. Let me continue with moving the next slide. Okay. Number 6. Okay, finally. Okay, number 6 here. The slide moves so fast. Okay, number 6, Ezekiel's turn. The opposition must be denounced, pronounced, subdued, or derided before the government can successfully impose its policies. Ezekiel, would you like to try?
Okay. Oh, is it A?
Is it A? Do you agree, Haresh?
No, I don't think so. I feel it's B, pronounced is to like legally prove something.
Pronounce is to declare. Denounce is to publicly declare something of deep disapproval. So denounce and pronounce is a
Opposite.
fair opposite. Okay. Grand review. I think I have something that I would be able to pick up here for all of you to take note of. Yes. Can you see my screen, guys? The notes at the bottom. Could you see my screen at the bottom?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I'd like you to just take note, right? So I prepared this just in the event that it will be clearer also for those who are just listening. You have something that is been written out for you, okay? Denounce something is when you declare publicly something to be wrong and evil, okay? So for example, you denounce the ways of the terrorists who took down away the lives of innocent civilians. So that's when you denounce somebody's act. But when you pronounce, you're trying to announce and declare something. Okay, so in this case here, you can only subdue a group of people. You don't subdue a message or an idea. You subdue a person. You can subdue an animal, so that you put this thing under your control. So subdue actually means bring under control. In this case here, the last one, deride a person, is when you ridicule a person. So what do you think is the answer now, guys?
Pronounced.
You cannot the opposition must be pronounced before the government can successfully impose its policies. Do you know what's opposition, children? Maybe you didn't quite understand the question. The opposition is always working against the government. They are rival parties. So when the government wants to successfully impose a policy means carry out policy. Let's say, you know, just last week with the start of the new year, Singapore government actually implemented the policy of raising our GST to 8%. Do you know that, class?
This year is 8% GST and next year is 9% GST.
Excellent. Thank you, Harish, for that confirmation. You're right. Next year it becomes 9%, and eventually we will hit 10%. Eventually, but not so soon. So thanks for that current affairs bit. Thank you very much. So in the earliest years, when this was announced in the parliament, our opposition members, primarily the Workers' Party, did try to go against it and question the reason why are you adding cost to us people, the commoners. And so in this case here, when the government wants to impose this, the opposition stand in this case here must not be denounced, must not be pronounced, but must be subdued. That means you control the opposition from trying to make further opposition to your government policies. You understand? Okay, so the answer is C, subdue. Okay, we don't want to ridicule people. It's not about ridiculing the opposition. You only ridicule because you are in the first place already, someone bearing less than positive intent. Am I clear with what I'm explaining, what I've explained, class? Because if you have, then I'll move on to the next slide, okay? The next slide is number 7. Columbus had been blank with the discovery of the American continents, have been delegated with, credited with, debited with, or felicitated with the discovery of the American continents. So I've just provided felicitated for you to better understand. It means congratulated. Which one do you think is the answer, Harish?
Is it A?
A, delegated with the discovery. Okay, so maybe I might just have to confirm that delegated is only when you assign a person a duty or a task. For example, my teacher has delegated me the task of taking the books for English every week. So I've been delegated the duty, assigned a duty. So Columbus had not been assigned a duty. It wasn't a duty. Yes, Harish?
Then ma'am is B.
B, credited. Did you say credited?
Yeah.
Very good. Okay, the answer is B. Why credited? Because it simply means that he has been given the acknowledgement, the recognition that he did this achievement, he fulfilled this achievement. So if I credit you, that means I say, yay, well done, Harish, you've done such a good job. And the discovery of the American continents for this Spaniard, he's Spanish, okay, Christopher Columbus, he received a lot of praise because he discovered newfound place in the medieval times. Okay, so credited is the correct word. Good job.
Wait, so Columbus is a name?
Columbus is the name of a person. His full name is Christopher Columbus.
Oh, I thought it was the monumental structure.
Oh, okay. Yes. So yeah, maybe in future we'll put in the full name of this person so that it's easier for you to understand. Christopher Columbus would have been clearer for you, I'm sure, right? Okay, let me just have another colleague to enter. Okay, let me continue with question 9. Madam Wong, who used to be thrifty, blank into an avaricious woman after she struck lottery. Is she falsified into, inferred into, generated into, or degenerated into? is